Thou, nature, art my goddess. To thy law my services are bound. Wherefore should I stand in the plague of custom, and permit the curiosity of nations to deprive me, for that I'm some 12 or 14 moonshines lag of a brother? Why bastard? Wherefore base, when my dimensions are as well compact, my mind is generous, and my shape as true as honest madam's issue? Why brand they us with base, with baseness, bastardy, base, base? Who, in the lusty stealth of nature, go to the creating of a whole tribe of fops caught between sleep and wake? Well then, legitimate Edgar, I must have your land. Our father's love is to the bastard Edmund as to the legitimate. Fine word, legitimate. Well, my legitimate, if this letter speed and my invention thrive, Edmund the base shall top the legitimate. I grow, I prosper. Now God stand up for bastards.
Kent banished thus, and France, the collar parted and the king gone tonight, subscribed his power, confined to exhibition. It's done again. Edmund, why so earnestly seek you to put up that paper?
I know no news, my lord.
What paper were you reading?
Nothing, my lord.
What needed then that terrible dispatch of it into your pocket? The quality of nothing hath not such need to hide itself. Come, if it be nothing, I shall not need spectacles.
I beseech you, sir, pardon me. It is a letter from my brother that I have not all read, and for as much as I have perused, I find it not fit for your beholding.
Give me the letter, sir.
I shall offend, either detain or give it the contents, as in part I understand them, not flame.
Let's see. Let's see.
I hope that for my brother's justification he wrote this but as an essay or taste of my virtue.
This policy in reference of age makes the world bitter to the best of our times, keeps our fortunes from us till our oldness cannot relish them. I begin to find an idle and fond bondage in the oppression of aged tyranny, who sways not as it hath power, but as it is suffered. Come to me, that of this I may speak more. If our father should sleep till I waked him, you should enjoy half his revenue forever, and live the beloved of your brother, Edgar. Conspiracy? Sleeps till I waked him, you should enjoy half his revenue? My son Edgar? Had he a hand to write this? A heart and brain to breed it in? When came this to you? Who brought it?
It was not brought me, my lord. There's the cunning of it. I found it thrown in at the casement of my closet.
You know the character to be your brother's?
Well, if the matter were good, I just swear it were his. But in respect of that, I would fain think it were not.
Hath he never heretofore sounded you in this?
Never, my lord. But I have heard him oft maintain it to be fit that sons of perfect age and fathers declining, that the father should be as water to son, and the son manage his revenge.
Oh, villain, villain, his very opinion in the letter. Horrid villain, unnatural, detested, brutish villain. Worse than brutish. Go, sir, seek him. I'll apprehend him. Where is he?
I do not well know, my lord. If it should suspend you, to suspend your honor against, suspend your indignation against my brother, till some further, as you may derive from him, some further testimony of his intent, you shall run a certain course, where if you proceed violently against him, mistaking his purpose, it would create a great gap in your honor, and shake in half the pieces of his obedience. I dare pond out my life for him that he wrote this to feel my affection to your honor, and to no further pretense of danger.
Think you so?
If your honor judge it meet, I will place you where you shall hear us confer of this, and by an auricular assurance have your satisfaction, and that without any further delay than this very evening.
He cannot be such a monster.
Nor is not
To his father, that so tenderly and entirely loves him, heaven and earth. Seek him out, Edmund. Wind me into him, I pray you. Frame the business after your own wisdom. I would instate myself to be in a due resolution.
I will seek him, sir, presently, convey the business, and find means as I shall acquaint you withal.
These late eclipses of the sun and moon pretend no good to us. The wisdom of nature can reason it thus and thus, yet nature finds itself scourged by the secret effects. Love cools. Friendship falls off. Brothers divide. In cities, mutinies. In countries, discord. In palaces, treason. The bond cracked twixt son and father. This villain of mine comes under the prediction. There's son against father. The king falls from bias of nature. His father, his child. We have seen the best of our times. Imaginations, hollowness, treacheries, and all ruinous disorders follow us disquietly to our graves. Seek out this villain, Edmund. It shall lose thee nothing. Do it carefully. And the loyal and true-hearted Kent, banished. His offense? Honesty. Tis strange.
This is the excellent foppery of the world, that when we are sick in fortune, not in the surfeit of our own behavior, we make guilty of our disasters, the sun, the moon, and the stars, as if we were villains by necessity, fools by heavenly compulsion, knaves, thieves, and treacherous by spherical predominance, drunkards, liars, and adulterers by an enforced obedience of planetary influence, and all that we are evil in by a divine thrusting arm, an admirable evasion by whoremaster man to lay his goatish disposition at the charge of a star. My father compounded with my mother under the dragon's tail, and my nativity was under Ursa Magnus, therefore was I rough and lecherous. Tut, I should have been, but I am, had the maidenliest star on the firmament twinkled on my bastardizing. Edgar, oh, and Patty comes, like the catastrophe of the old comedy. Mind you, his villainous melancholy, with a sigh like Tom of Bedlam. Oh, these eclipses do portend these divisions. Thy soul on me.
How now, brother Edmund? What serious contemplation are you in?
I'm thinking, brother, of a prediction I read this other day. What will follow these eclipses?
Do you busy yourself about that?
Oh, I promise you. The effects he writes of succeed most unhappily. As of unnaturalness between the child and the parent, death, dearth, dissolutions of ancient amities, divisions in state, menaces and maledictions against the king and nobles, banishment of friends, dissipation of cohorts, nuptial breaches, and I know not what.
How long have you been a sectary astronomical?
Come, come. When saw you my father last?
Why, the night gone by.
Spoke you with him?
Aye, 2 hours together.
Parted you on good terms? Found you no displeasure in him by word of countenance?
None at all.
Bethink yourself wherein you may have offended him, and at my entreaty forbear his presence till some little time hath qualified the heat of his displeasure, which at this instant so rageth in him that with the mischief of your person it would scarcely allay.
Some villain hath done me wrong.
That's my fear. I pray you, have a continent forbearance till the speed of his rage goes slower, and, as I say, retire with me to my lodging, from whence I will fitly bring you to hear my lord speak. Pray you go, there's my key. And if you do stir abroad, go armed.
Armed, brother?
Brother, I advise you to the best, go armed. I am no honest man if there be any good meaning towards you. I told you what I've seen and heard, but faintly, nothing like the image and horror of it. Pray you away.
Shall I hear from you anon?
To serve you in this business. A credulous father, and a brother noble whose nature is so far from doing harms that he suspects none, on whose foolish honesty my practices ride easy. I see the business. Let me, if not by birth, have lands by wit, or with means meet that I can fashion a fit.